Okay, what we have today, it's called Match the Name Game. I'm here with Seth.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Seth, today. And this is just a game, and it's about finding out what you know, educating, discussing, so we know what's going on in our country. So what we have here, these are 6 outcomes at the federal level of government. And as you know, Seth, there's only been 2 parties in power since Confederation, the Liberals and Conservatives. So what I want you to do, I'm going to go through each one, and I want you to match the party you think is with the outcome, and then we're going to go through it. So the first one is, since 1968, added 458.9 billion to the federal debt. It's an average of 23.4 billion annual deficit over 19.62 years. Who's behind that?
I would have to say the Liberals.
Why do you think that?
It just seems like they're good at spending money and have been for a long time.
Okay, fair enough. The next one is, over a 10-year period, allowed 2.66 million migrants into Canada.
That's also probably Liberal.
The third one, over a 10-year period, and it may be broken up, spent 56.6 billion on foreign aid outflow.
Foreign aid?
Foreign aid out.
Yeah, well, that could be conservative.
But you're not sure, but all right. Kanzuk. So this party fully endorses Kanzuk. It's wide open borders. It's a globalist bloc of Commonwealth countries, and its purpose is to protect the liberal international order. Who's behind that?
That would have to be Liberals, I would say.
The fifth one, legislated affirmative action, federal job hiring preference of visible ethnic minorities, new migrants, immigrants over traditional Canadians.
Probably Liberal.
And the final one today, adopted UN Agenda 21 and UN Agenda 2030, including 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals.
That one I don't fully understand, but they adopted a UN Agenda number 21.
These are UN agendas. They're primarily focused on sustainability, climate change, that type of stuff.
Then that's probably Liberal, I would go.
I'm going to reveal the truth. Do you support any of these policies, or before
I would say to some capacity I'm definitely behind some of it, but maybe not to the extent that is always given.
do you think it's good adding all that debt? And what about this, all these migrants coming in?
That allows migration and is a multicultural society, so I believe that definitely migrants can be a part of our society. It's just to what extent.
Exactly. What about all this foreign aid outflow?
I definitely believe in helping other countries because we are one of the best countries in the world, of course, but we have to make sure we take care of ourselves for sure first.
Like our seniors and veterans, homeless.
Definitely.
What about this open borders agenda, wide open, with 53 other countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they can just flood into the country?
It sounds like it would be a good idea if on an even playing field it was good for everybody, but I don't know how that would really work out best for Canada.
Excellent point, because there's difference in prosperity in each country, right?
Yes, exactly.
All India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they have almost 2 billion people.
Yes, they definitely have a population over there, and if they can get here, and we do have a lot of systems that allow people to live off the government, so, after a while, we got to make sure those monies are for Canadians first.
What about the legislative action? Do you think this is right, favoring certain groups, minorities over?
Not the favoring of them, of course. I believe everybody should get their certain shake, a fair shake, right? Everybody has equal rights to every opportunity that we have here.
Should be merit-based, shouldn't it?
That's what I believe, yeah.
This isn't merit-based. This is, if you're wearing a turban and there's a traditional Canadian, let's say Caucasian, the turban guy will get hired over
Yeah,
Just
there are some policies in companies that make sure that they have visible minorities, which is also definitely a good thing. But it does seem like there's a lot of them in a lot of workplaces now, for sure.
exactly. And this one, the UN is this is like an agenda for Canada, pushing climate change, sustainable energy, anti-oil and gas, pushing transgender identity theory and all that stuff.
Those are a lot of little bit particular topics, but I definitely believe in giving everyone equal rights, but at what capacity, right? To everyone's fault.
What if I told you this is all one party?
Is it all liberals? Is that what it is?
I'm going to share the truth, but what if I told you that? You think?
I kind of thought that that might be the case after I answered them all that way, and I thought maybe one had to be conservative, but
These are all conservative outcomes. Every single one.
this is all conservative even.
Every single one.
That's pretty amazing then to me, actually. Yeah.
Are you surprised?
It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised that even the conservatives were, allowing all this to happen and giving away that much money.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Because you're kind of programmed to think another way, aren't you?
I guess so. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, that's definitely caught me off guard.
You see a difference between liberals and conservatives now based on this?
Well, they definitely seem to be somewhat similar. Yeah, a little closer than I ever really thought. If I thought most of those things would be liberal, then pretty interesting.
So it's important to get informed, isn't it? Because how can you vote without really knowing?
True, yeah. Every Canadian should find out more about what's really going on before they make a real decision.
Well, thank you, Seth, for doing this today.
Yeah,
So
no worries, man.
I'm here with Match the Game, and thank you, Seth, for participating in this educational video. So this game is about matching the party to the policy. So we got three mainstream parties here: Liberal, Conservative, NDP. It may be them, it may not be them. So your job is just to match which party you think it belongs to. It could be none of them. So the first one is create a people's bank through restoring the true Bank of Canada and pay off the federal debt through that new bank.
Pay off the federal debt. I'm hoping that would be conservative.
The second one is recall legislation of any sitting MP that has lost the confidence of the riding, and you just need 40% of the riding to initiate a vote to remove him or her.
So that's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to go NDP.
This one here is a binding public national referendum on withdrawal from the UN within 6 months.
That's a party that wants to withdraw.
But they would hold a referendum, and it's up to the Canadian people whether to withdraw or not.
Okay, also interesting. Wow, that one I'm up in the air. I'm gonna say liberal.
This one here is 9 proposed amendments of the Charter, including property rights, self-defense rights.
Let's go conservative.
This one here is major reform of Canada Pension Plan, projected 3 times increase in annual benefit.
Annual benefits for who?
For the Canadian people, pension people who contributed into CPP.
Oh, really? So they.
Right now they're getting around 11,000 every year after 30, 40 years into it. Under this plan they would get over 20,000 plus 26,000.
Okay, let's go liberal.
This one is a citizen-initiated national referendums. So this is through the citizenship that they can bring up issues for a referendum, and they'd be initiated through 250,000 signatures, and these would be binding.
I like that idea, so I hope it's all of them really, but let's say that one's the conservatives.
Are there any policies here that you like?
that last one, I definitely like the idea that the people can make their choice if they have enough people to have a say.
So you support empowering Canadians over the.
Yeah, I would say 100%.
What about the CPP? Do you think that's a good idea? Because Canadians are paying into it for 40 years.
Well, and I do work a job where I pay into a federal pension plan, so I definitely want it to be there when I'm done. So that one I do like too.
And it's a lot of investment, eh? Over your lifetime, and you want to get the return on it, don't you?
Definitely, yeah, definitely need to know that it's going to be there. That's what the idea is for doing these jobs for so many years.
What about recall? Do you think that's good? That's another empowerment of Canadian people.
Yeah, that sounds good too. Yeah, if the people can have a say, then that at least gets them a chance.
Exactly. This one here is just giving them a choice on the UN. Some people think it's an amoral institution.
Okay, understandable. Although I don't know specifically too much about the particulars of the UN, I just have always thought that it's a very good thing for the world, so I would expect that Canada would want to be a part of it.
This is again empowering Canadians to give them a choice. This one is again about the bank, because it was shifted in 1974 to central bankers by Pierre Trudeau. They've been printing our money, and right now we owe about $64 billion a year in debt service payments. Every year we're paying. Central.
If we can find a way that the money can be given and distributed with the people instead of given to the banks, then that would be awesome.
That's better. So that's what this is striving towards, is actually make a people's bank, so these central bankers aren't ripping off the Canadian people, because right now they're like leeches on the Canadian people. They're sucking them.
To like a Canada Post is a federal influenced government organization that could also be a bank and then wouldn't have to charge as much interest to people because
Exactly. The people would be in control of the bank. It would be in service of the people. Because right now the central banks, the international banking cartel is controlling it. They're printing our money. It's causing inflation, and there's all these debt service payments.
Right, yeah, a little bit ridiculous for sure.
You'd support that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
What if I told you this is all one party?
And it's like that, is it? It's all one party. Well, that's interesting. Which one is it?
Any idea? So this is all NCA, National Citizens Alliance.
Oh, that's what you're saying right now. Okay, now I get it.
None of those other parties have policies like these.
Well, that's interesting, though. It sounds like some good ideas.
Do you think policies are important?
100%, definitely.
Why?
Just to help the people and give the people a chance to have their say.
And if you don't have policies, what do you have?
You have a corrupt government of one-sided, basically corrupt, like a mafia, basically.
Because policies are for decision making, right?
Yeah, definitely. Decisions making by a whole group of people rather than a small group, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Seth. Thank you.